connected with radio broadcasting. So welcome to the show, Sitesh. How are you doing today?
Thank you, Kanchan. It has been a long time that we have spoken on the contemporary subjects and I miss it. How have you been?
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine. And as you must be seeing the news, and you know that the farmers are doing a Bharat Bandh today, and as the farmer protest in the national capital, and that enters 12th day, the representative farmers organization handed over a letter to the government listing their demand, including a special session of parliament to repeal the three farm laws. And the leaders have claimed that the new farm law would pave the way for doing away the minimum support price MSP and will leave the poor farmers on the mercy of big corporate. Now they also want to fix the MSP. Suppose if the uh, price is rupees 100, they want to fix it 150. So all these are happening. So I thought let's discuss this topic today. What is the real reason behind this agitation of farmers?
Yes, Kanchan. So it is actually fortunate or unfortunate rather to see that the farmer, the growers of the food, our annadatas are protesting. And there is a counter thought which says that if farmer is protesting, who is creating the food for us? So there was a time in India when our respected Prime Minister Lal Bahadur Shastri had said, Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan. And from those days, India being the agricultural economy, we have always respected the farmer's profession. But given the, uh, what do you say, different aspects of the farmers in every part of India, it is important to understand the real pain points. And I think the government's motive in this is a transformation and a transition from the practices. But as you know, Kanchan, the change is the most hated word.
Correct.
So all the places where there is an established pattern of doing things, nobody expects a change, and especially when somebody's whole layer or a job or a prospect of earning any money is going away, it is bound to hurt, and
Right.
it is hurt badly.
Right.
And therefore, it is important to see where it will go. However, there are some contours that the government can manage in much better way rather than the way it is being managed from a media angle. Because most of the people on the media, they don't seem to understand the depth of the challenge. They only either see it as a politicized issue, or they don't see it at all a farmer's issue. So I'm seeing, people are returning their Padma Shris, and Bollywood actors are joining, sports people are joining, and people are making statements. So the narrative that is coming out of the farmers' protest is something that needs to be carefully handled, and not, I would say, like in public administration, you cannot use the hard fact when the emotions and of the people are involved. And what would you say when Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau comes and speaks for the protest? And this makes it suddenly an international issue. So what is your take on not only the politicization but also the glamorization of this protest?
Yeah, I feel that this is entirely inland agitation, and if farmers are having some issues, I think they are reaching out to government. The government is also facilitating the meetings, and they are discussing this issue. But I don't think so that any international person has any right, any a person who's outside of India, especially the state heads. have right to really interfere in this matter, because government's intention behind this is to make a uniform market arrangement for agriculture commodities across a country, to enable farmers to get their better option while selling their produce. You know, Sitesh, all these practices, these are old practices, and they are there in existence from British Raj. And now, what I have read or what I have heard is that the farmer was not allowed to sell their crop to their neighbors also. So they have already appointed middleman. The one farmer will sell to that middleman, and then things will follow upwards. Now, farmers will be getting a very small amount of the cost of the crop, and then over the period of time that increase. So the beneficial were the middleman, and what all people are saying, all other people, not the farmers. Now for this, they now what government has said that there no longer there is no need for a farmer to really visit mandis repeatedly, because there's no middleman. And besides this, a long wait in mandis, farmer had to come across with many problems regarding quality of their produce. And after this amendment in the mandi act, now farmers can sell their crop to private traders, and from their home itself, sitting at their home. They need not to travel. Even they can contact the international buyers also. So it is easier and more profitable for farmers to sell their crops, and the option to sell produce at the support price in mandi will remain just as it was as it is with the farmer. Now, what I feel, the glamorization and all other, I'll put it as a anti-national kind of act which is going on for people who are glamorizing this cause of farmers. Because I also heard that more than 1 lakh farmers have signed and given this in written that they support government act, this farm act. So I feel it's entirely, and whoever who's coming from outside and supporting this farmer act or whatever agitation, or the head of this agitation should say no. Because I've also heard there's Khalistanis board, there all other stuff is pouring into this farmer agitation, rather than really discussing the real point, the farmers benefit.
Correct, Kanchan, and that is what makes it little, not interesting but saddens, because if there are genuine issues, then it seems that the politicization and the glamorization is taking away the genuine issues and then focusing on something else, probably a bigger narrative that is somebody is trying to hijack, you know. But that is also a fact that almost 30 to 45 farmers organizations have also joined and the protest. So it is important to understand then, as I said in the beginning, the fact plus the story plus the way it is being peddled and the way it is being narrated, and whether it is reaching to the right set of ears within the government. Now, the stark facts, in one of the debates I heard that 70% of the minimum support price MSP allocation that goes to just two states, that is Punjab and Haryana. But then one professor actually said, but because that 70% of the country's food production comes from Punjab and Haryana. And then there was an analysis of it, which doesn't prove it. So the statistics which was coming out from the 2017 and 18, let's say about the wheat, the largest contributor was Uttar Pradesh, followed by Punjab, and then Madhya Pradesh, and then Haryana comes at the fourth. Rajasthan, Bihar, Gujarat follow it as fifth, sixth, and seventh. That shows that Punjab and Haryana together contributed only 28.28% of the total wheat production in 17 and 18. So the MSP that needs to be distributed, if as per the government says that it is going to stay, it needs to be distributed. It cannot just be allocated to just two of those states. And especially that's what we see. Most of the farmers protesting are from those two states and not other states. Similarly, on the rice or the paddy, what we call, the largest contributor of rice or paddy is West Bengal with 13.26% for the same period, 2017-18, followed by Punjab is number 2, Uttar Pradesh number 3, Andhra number 4, Bihar number 5, Tamil Nadu number 6, Orissa 8, Assam 9, and MP at the 12th position. So Punjab is number 2 and Haryana is number 11 in the rice and paddy. So again, there is not a very clear or a justified MSP projection or budgetary condition. So this is something that needs to be understood from a larger data perspective. But again, in our country, the data, somebody needs to either sugarcoat the data or sensitize the data. And I think both are bad. Neither sugarcoating is bad nor sensitizing is bad. Somebody needs to take a balanced approach, and for that, dialogue needs to happen. Ministers need to sit with the representative organizations, and the dialogues should happen in a fair and a transparent manner. Probably this all can happen on a national TV. And why not? Where the ministers, there is nothing to hide. And if there is nothing to hide, why there can't be a national debate? But the debate needs to bring in the right decision makers to the people who are on the protesting side. And then incremental changes need to be brought in. I hear that government has principally agreed with those 3 laws and not implementing on a big bang approach, but in a slow and the phased manner. And I think that kind of dialogue and that kind of a story going out into the international media makes the case for us. We all are trying to struggle to come back as a country on the economic front. Any such thing which helps or hurts the farm sector is going to help or hurt us international ratings also. So I think the current dispensation of the government, as well as the protesters and the people who think that they are representing the protesters, they need to think from the India's image perspective rather than just politicizing or glamorizing it. What do you say?
I really feel so kind of funny that only few states are in the agitation. And I've heard that Mamta said from West Bengal that she supports this agitation, but she doesn't allow any agitation in her state. Likewise, many other opposition parties, they are pouring in Delhi and supporting the farmers in this agitation, but in their state, they say no, we don't want agitation in their state. So again, I think that is a hypocrisy because what I feel like, I'll take an example of a state, Madhya Pradesh. And Madhya Pradesh is the first state in the country which has made amendment in the Mandi Act in the interest of farmers. And this amendment will directly benefit the farmer. Now they can derive maximum benefit of their produce. For this, they will no longer to visit mandis. And then on the other hand, the commission agents have got freedom from the license raj. And on the other hand, it's also opportunity for farmers to strengthen their financially. So all this is being done in, according to my understanding, to strengthen the financial position of farmers. So, whatever agitation are the people who are into this agitation, I feel more of those people who are a middleman. So they don't want to really go away from that system. As you have rightly pointed out, that any change, if is done, people do come out and agitate. But I think people, especially farmers, they have quite a big understanding what government is doing. And if I can read out something, because this government is doing a lot of for farmers, and they want to strengthen the farmers' position, because India is an agricultural country. The all support, economic support is being done by agriculture. So government want by 2022 to double the salary of farmers. So that in this process, government is doing too many things. They have introduced Kisan Pension Yojana. They have done Kisan Train. They have done Ayushman medical support for Kisan. They have also done Kisan Samman Nidhi, which is around 6,000 rupees. Then they have also done Bijli and Pani ki Vyavastha, health card. So all that will benefit to the Kisan, along with other people also who are in this agriculture or in village sector. So what I feel is that whoever is doing and misleading people across India, I think they should think once what they are doing.
Kanchan, yes, I agree. I completely am with you on that. And during that debate that I referred to, I also heard a renowned farmer leader from Andhra Pradesh, Sri Chengal Reddy, saying that there are fruit and vegetable producers of are there producers of chili and spices, pulses, oil seeds, tubers, rubber, cotton, sugarcane, and others. They are also farmers too. And it is not only about the wheat and the rice production. Therefore, only Punjab farmers cannot hold the country to the ransom. But as we are seeing in the protest, that Diljit Dosanjh has joined it from for the protest, Khalistani flags, as you said, and that shows the connection between the Canadian Prime Minister's statement, for which Canadian ambassador was also asked to explain his situation position to the Indian Foreign Affairs Ministry. And Vijender Singh, the great athlete and Olympian, has joined the protest. Prakash Singh Badal, probably I heard that he was considering returning his Padma Shri. And, and, and then there are many others who are talking about, that politicization is something that is irrelevant. And the other thing that is very important to understand is that when you say government is trying to do good things for a farmer, let us understand how much educated the India's farmer is today. They need India's farmer is not all the rich farmers. There are poor farmers, there are unrepresented farmers, and there are farmers who will need cooperatives to talk on behalf of them. And therefore, we will always have farmer organizations. We will always have farmer leaders, and we will always have politicians who have made their careers out of the farmer's life. And therefore, to the end user, end farmer, it is not easy for the farmer to read and understand the policy, the details, the law. Ultimately, the farmer has to carry his crop to somewhere to sell it. And that somewhere, whether it is an APMC, it is a mandi, or it is direct to our homes, is something that a farmer has to arrange a lot of logistics to reach out. He has to do a tie-up, and therefore the farmer needs to be educated. And I see that in all of this protest, where the farmer is getting educated about these complex laws, policies, logistics, supply chain. It is not just about production. Farmers generally are not so much educated in the country, if I see the larger population. So there is always chance of misrepresenting them, or misquoting them, or even going up to like cheating them, or short selling them, as they call it. So there is something that there has to be a farmer education. which needs to be reached out to the farmers in the gaon, in the village, in the chopals, to tell about them. And that's something I would suggest the government needs to do, to reach out in every state and the farmer bodies through which they can reach out to the farmers, probably a national Doordarshan channel to explain the situation. I hope Doordarshan ka DD Kisan channel is doing it. I'm sure. I hope it.
Yes, I think there's government should reach out to the farmers, and I think they should educate if they are poor farmers. But what I feel is that farmers are maybe 50% of farmers, they know what about the bill and they understand fairly well. And whatever agitation is going on, I think they are not the real farmers somehow. This is my feeling. And because what I feel is that this is the alternative system which is being created by government, and when the system come into existence, a new competition will rise in the trade of agriculture commodity, and that will benefit farmers. So when all this is happening, and government and all people or intelligent people, they have put together their minds and drafted this bill. So I think. I don't see any specific farmers coming out and really agitating, because most of the farmers are happy, as I have mentioned Shivraj Singh Chauhan, who has done a charisma by connecting all farmers with the global marketing by making amendment in Mandi bill in one stroke. So this is how. So uh, people who are coming from Punjab or little bit from other states, so I think it's more political than it is related to farmers' benefit. And when I feel that some non-social elements also there, like Khalistan and other stuff, and political parties are opening their kitchens, and they're making, I mean, they're taking a whole sense of any agitation which is related to farmers. And I think that is a disrespect to farmers. So that I really feel very strongly about this agitation, and I think farmers are of India are capable to put across their demands. They need not to agitate, do all these stuff on agitation like this on those that too, and chilly winters, and when there's a corona crisis. So that is my take.
I hope so, Kanchan. And while we spoke about the politicization and the glamorization, I also want to point out it's also important to understand the corporate benefits by the national top level corporate houses versus the international corporate houses as well. And therefore it is important that farmers benefit, the end mile benefit has to be taken care, and someone has to stand for them. And who that would be is something that we need to really find out, debate, and enable the farmer. And another thing why which I would like to end our conversation today is that it is still, I have not found in India farming as a great career choice. Whereas in the rest of the world where I have worked, people want to go back to the farming despite living in the city with their corporate jobs. They very happily take up a farming job and farming work. They go and work in the farms. They have their own farms. But in India, farming as a career choice, the day it will happen, the farmer will automatically be educated and knowing what is good for them.
I'll put your point, last point in a way, because there are many changes happening, especially in youth in India. And I found many people from IT sector, especially they have given up their career and they've bought a land and they are doing fairly good in agriculture. But this message is a very crucial message, and people should join this sector, because we are from village. We our culture come from that, and we are agricultural country. So we have to take this seriously. A part of this, I feel. I really feel that government and this people who are represented of farmers, so-called farmers, they should sit together and they should discuss, and let's see, maybe tomorrow or day after they should end this agitation and do something productive for the country and for themselves. It was nice talking to you, Suresh, and let's meet tomorrow with another interesting episode. Till then, bye bye. Take care.
Jai Jawan, Jai Kisan.